man. Uh-oh. You left it in the van.
All right.
Yeah, I left it in my coat.
There's a red box in front of me on the screen. Inside that red box, it has the word live. I'm consulting my host manual. That means we are, in fact, live. I'm a big fan. I've been waiting for this evening for quite some time. So I'll finally be able to check this off the bucket list. But before we get too deep into it, I'm going to ask these two gentlemen if they would be so kind as to introduce themselves. And Chris, I guess we'll start with you first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm Von Snyder, and I'm the producer of the record. I think I play on most of the tracks, and we're in my studio in San Francisco.
Would you say co-producer? Because I should be called the producer as well.
Anything you want.
Yeah, I think it's a shared
He
production.
did it all.
All right, we're off to a great start.
It's a shared production. Oh, all right.
Action-packed. And you, sir, as if you need an introduction, Prairie.
My name is Prairie Prince. I'm, I guess, a legend in my own mind and a few other people, but I'm so glad to be on your show. And I'm presenting my new album, which was produced and co-produced by my friend here, Chris. And it's taken over 10 years to produce and to finally come out. So
you both are extraordinarily patient gentlemen, but the final result was pretty amazing. Just a little additional background on Prairie. It's quite a resume. We don't want to take up the entire evening. I have to throw out there, he was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where I'm based. So appreciate that. Also, I learned a little bit, even though I've been a fan for some years, that it makes sense he would be musical royalty when you consider his full name is Charles Lempereur Prince. And he's been the ringmaster controlling the musical heartbeat of the legendary band The Tubes, 15 albums and world tours. He contributes to this day as a central musician, the heartbeat in Todd Rundgren's band, and was the original drummer and Journey belonged to Jefferson Starship for several years. We go on, Chris Isaac, he recorded with Tom Waits, George Harrison, Dick Dale, and don't forget the New Cars with Todd, of course, Chasm Sultan, who's been on, and Elliot Easton, the original guitarist and original keyboard player, Greg Hawkes. That was a great run. And his creative partner, Michael Cotton of The Tubes, and Prince have built amazing stage sets. They worked with choreographer Kenny Ortega, which is that unto itself is mind-blowing. And who can forget their mural of the iconic Flying Record albums hovering over A&M Records lot. It was heartbreaking to see that go away, but we'll forever remember it. And tonight we're celebrating both of our guests and also Prairie's debut solo album entitled Colors and Passion. So with that, everyone, buckle up. Let's kick this show off. And Brad, if you would, please roll the digital.
Thank you, Steve. You made it very easy for me.
I was amped up before that intro video, but that's like having a 12-pack of Jolt Cola. Now I'm way over the top, and I'm your host for the Rock and Roll Channel on Talk Shop Live, Steve Harkins. Thanks for being here. Once again, please welcome, if you would, Chris Von Snyder, and accept no invitations.
Von Snydern.
Von Snydern. I'll get it right after the fifth time. I'm positive.
Very particular about that.
Yes, Von Snydern.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm going to say it 20 times fast.
No,
but
please, no.
That'll be too.
I'll do it.
Thank you. And also, of course, Prairie Prince. And gentlemen, thank you both for being here. Really appreciate you taking the time out and being generous to go over this incredible album.
Thank you. Thank you. We're glad to be here.
And where do we find you, gentlemen, this evening?
Where are we finding?
We're in the Tape Vault studio control room.
Yeah.
Nice. And that is located geographically.
Oh, we're in San Francisco. We're inside the Hyde Street Studios facility in
Nice.
a relatively tiny room.
The area of San Francisco is called the Tenderloin, and we're proud of it.
There we go. Yeah, it sounds like a t-shirt to me for sure. And fans, if you'd like to ask Prairie and Chris a question or you have a comment, use the chat function. We'll get to as many as possible. And gentlemen, let me first state what you do is extraordinarily important. You know, you're affiliated with entertainment, which is absolutely appropriate. But I have to say, you know, in today's contentious times, you know, what you do brings people together. It doesn't matter what their, you know, religious affiliations are, political convictions, whether, you know, Prairie, you're setting foot on stage or you guys are delivering a project such as this one. You bring all, you know, sorts of people together, a unified front. We need that now more than ever. So let me personally thank you for that.
It's welcome. And we do what we can to, yeah, like you say, bring people together and make it a one world.
Absolutely. And I mean, let's talk a little bit about this project. First of all, you know, I had to go back and just make sure I was reading it correctly, but it's mind blowing to me, Prairie, that this is your debut album.
Well, it is my debut album. I mean, I've always worked with other people, you know, my friends and associate musicians, you know, since day one. And originally I was really brought up by my mom and dad's love for art and music, and started being, you know, being a drummer in different bands, local bands in Phoenix, where I grew up. And then that led to moving to San Francisco and still continuing on, but always felt like I was a big part of at least the artistic direction of the band.
Yeah.
Or bands, but now it would have been the Tubes. And yeah, it carries on still to this day.
And the Tubes are still an entity, are they not?
We are an entity. I got to say, right now we're on a bit of a hiatus,
Yeah.
at least from touring, and we have lots of plans in the future, such as a lot of world travel and maybe some elegant eating in different parts of the world, and
Very nice.
Yeah, things like that. But we hope to get it back in the recording studio and do a new Tubes album.
That would be amazing.
Not in the too distant future, I'd say.
Well, we did a couple tracks.
Well, chime in here.
Well, you know, we got together with Bill Spooner and Roger, Prairie,
Michael Cotton,
and did a couple of songs. So it's so far so good.
Yeah.
Though
Great news.
Getting the plans together and whatever feed got going on.
Yeah.
Between this forthcoming album and that news, ladies and gentlemen, don't jump. There is hope for the future here.
A tubular future is most possible in some form or another. I'm not sure exactly what form that's going to take shape in at this point.
It sounds inviting, regardless.
Yeah, depends on what we find out in our travels.
I'll tell you what, Chris. I'm very curious. How did the two of you gentlemen meet? And again, you have to have the patience of a saint. I mean, that this project, I guess it was off and on, has been germinating for some 10 years.
A big part of the reason it took so long is because he's so busy. Prairie's always on tour. He'd leave for months at a time.
Yeah.
There was a pandemic too, right?
The pandemic took a little bite out of our progress for sure, but
yeah,
we continued. He's got a studio here, and I wouldn't even see him or get even close to him. I'd go in the back door. He'd already be in the studio.
I'd be in the front,
and he'd be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And I would be in the back room. I had, you know, a backdrop set up to make me feel at home.
You had a gas mask. The first day.
And we continued even through the pandemic. And most of our friends who contributed and collaborated with us just did it, you know, via the email. They sung in their parts, sent them to Chris. And played the parts.
Yeah, that was the thing everybody went through who had a recording studio, is how to deal with all these tracks and people who had never recorded, themselves, sending in tracks, and it was like, how did you record this? Different sample rates.
Oh
Completely,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was
Some
bonkers.
used a click track, some didn't, and he had to create his own. He did a lot of extra work on it that it finally came out for the best.
Yeah, I think
And-
everybody had a lot to learn from that. I mean, by running a studio, it was either figure out how to record remotely or just not record anybody at all. So we made it through. A lot of interesting things happened
Yeah.
too, where you get the tracks and you put them in and you go, what the hell? That's the weirdest thing I ever heard. And they go, no, it's out of sync by a half a bar. That's why it sounds so weird.
Oh yeah,
It's
Yeah, like
those little details, right?
yeah. Well,
Chris, share with us a little bit of your background. It's pretty fascinating. You're not originally from San Francisco, are you?
No, I'm from central New York, Syracuse
Yeah.
area. I moved
Yeah, it's a
here
little bit of a distance there.
40 years ago. I mean, I feel like I've been here longer than I was ever there. First chance I got out of there and came straight here.
but how did we meet?
We met at the record plant
Oh right,
in Sausalito, recording with David Denny,
that's right.
and we
Wow.
hit it off. You wanted to take me on a bike ride with Jerry Harrison, and I'm like, never heard of him. No,
Yeah.
I'll pass on that. But,
So let's talk a little bit about the germ of the idea. Near and dear to my heart. I don't know if everybody out there knows the origin or the inspiration, I should say, of this album. But I'm originally from Chicago, born and bred, and the guy was legendary, Ken Nordine.
Yeah.
He was a fixture for years on the local PBS station.
Yeah.
And boy, you talk about pipes on the guy too. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
incredible. So
Yeah, it's
this
low
was
low resonating voice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and this was inspired, as I understand it, by his landmark album, which in fact is some 60 years ago when it was released, entitled Colors. So, Prairie,
Right.
maybe you can kind of pick up from there as far as the seeds that were planted. This is kind of taking it kind of to the next level, I think, right? Or continuing.
Well, it's definitely a continuum of the concept of word jazz records. He had these early records in the late 50s, early 60s that my sisters, Leslie and Helen, my dear older sisters,
Yes.
had these records, and I was probably 6 or 7, maybe 7 or 8 or 9, and they started playing these records in their bedroom, and I was always taken by his resonating tone of his voice, his kind of simple stories, but done in a beat poetry style and accompanied by music, mostly jazz, but
Right.
some just kind of things that kind of actually related to what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Not only the album Colors, which is more specific, but his word jazz was just, lots of different kinds of ideas and stories that were, just enticing, and then be accompanied by this different kinds of music, and it was very inspiring.
Kind of abstract.
For sure, definitely abstract,
The music.
avant-garde.
Right. Right.
And so my sister, just to finish that point of starting the thing, my sister Leslie, years later said, the Colors album is such a great concept. Maybe you should take that idea and expound on it, come up with your own version of that concept. And I thought, oh, what a great idea! And I can get a lot of my friends that I've worked with over the years to collaborate with me, because I don't have a band. It'll just be me, and I can't really play anything except drums.
Yeah.
But I can spit out some poetry. So that's what
That's
happened.
the thing about building up these tracks. It's like, they're not songs,
Yeah.
but there's a linear thing. You have we put the words down or some drum beats, and then we'd have to sometimes rejigger how long the thing was.
Yeah, well, pretty
because it
much
would be longer
though.
than
That's pretty much the way Ken's stuff was too.
Yeah.
Nordine.
Right. Right.
And
And
fill it in all around the spoken word bits.
Yeah.
I'm also fascinated by the process of how you kind of built the recording or the tracks. I mean, in most cases, you start off purely with the drum tracks, right? With adding some percussion and building from there.
Can you remember?
Well,
It's been so long since we did the first track.
The biggest
Back
thing
in the 1800s,
yeah,
when it first,
in the 20 pre-COVIDs.
Yeah.
What was it? 2016?
2014. Yeah. 2014.
So the thing that made the biggest difference in the way that the production went along was the contributions of the people, because sometimes they would just completely go with it,
yeah,
and create something that we would have to kind of go, well, now what do we put onto that?
Exactly. And that's why this thing was such a great great learning thing for me. Just like how do you create music with not strangers, you're your friends, but you hadn't really been playing with them, like in a band situation before, and they would just contribute something from the feeling they got from whatever we gave them, which was usually, like you said, a percussion track and a rough version of the poem, whatever song color we were talking about.
and Prairie, if you had to go back to 2014 and that original germ of an idea that your sister planted, how had it evolved over the next, well, now 12 years? I mean, was it pretty consistent with the general vision, or did it morph and evolve into something a little different?
No, I think it definitely had the origins of the original vision at the end, but I mean, I can't be more thrilled.
Well, it
pleased
started
with
as
the outcome.
12, right?
It started as 12 tracks, but then we kept going.
And you added,
yeah, because one of the ideas was a track per month, and trying to relate to the ideas. I mean, there's just a lot of really deeply personal stuff in these tracks that I would hope that people can gather something from and get joy and love and all the things, and be able to dance to most of it. But pretty personal stuff, so it's kind of hard to relate how it would all come out in the end. And apparently it's come out pretty well. A lot of people really like what they've heard so far.
And Prairie, you were responsible primarily for the spoken word, weren't you, with some assistance?
Well, I got to say that most of the spoken word was done by me. However, I've had contributions from Todd Rundgren, Michael Holman on Gray Love, and Hugh Cornwell on Blue Despair. He had that beautiful English, deep, desperate sort of tone to his voice in the band The Stranglers. And we became friends recently, and I asked him if he would contribute to it, and he was a little confused, but then he delivered the goods. And then this guy right here did most of the background vocals on almost everything.
And there's some wonderful interplay too, I have to say, as far as some of the arrangements. In some cases, kind of weaving in and out. And also, I love the approach where it starts out, kind of as again, kind of in keeping with the theme and the vibe of Ken Nordine. But then with many of these tracks, kind of midpoint, we then kind of morph into this incredible musical journey. And I have to say, it's really refreshing what you guys put together. I mean, this is such a unique oral experience, and kudos, because that's not an easy accomplishment after years of so many creative ideas out there. It just feels like you just came up with something really refreshing.
Thrilled that you thought that, and I think that, and I hope everyone feels that way. So the kind of idea of things kind of starting slow, building to a climatic ending was kind of a formula that I had in my mind for most of the tracks, not all of them, but most of them start slow. You kind of pick up on the idea of what the color might be leading into, and then you catch a groove usually, and then it'll bust into a whole nother kind of rhythm or a tempo, ending in a climactic. And pretty much every one of the tunes ends in a bomb. I can't think of any other way to end a song.
Yeah.
So we sampled many different types of explosions to fit each one of the tracks.
Yeah, and you know what? Another takeaway for me was to really, I think, have the true experience, to truly enjoy it, and all of the energy and creativity and love that you guys put into this, one really needs a great set of headphones to truly experience it. I mean, it's quite an oral experience.
Talk to him about
Well, there was definitely the intention of creating something, kind of headphone worthy.
Yeah.
And also the productions were so dense. We had so many overdubs. Sometimes we had to thin things out, but there was so much stuff with all these tracks.
10 years worth.
Yeah, 10,
Yeah.
10 layers of paint. And
Yeah.
it's some of the ways of getting some space were sometimes just spinning things in a circle or panning things alternately. So, like if there's a bunch of buckethead guitars, they would move in like I'd had 6 guitars.
Kind of like a
but
cross, not fade, but
I created a patchwork so that there would be 6 guitars, but they were just all playing wild chaos. So I would just have them turning on and off
yeah.
like a strobe light, like and the guitars are just, but no
Yeah.
more than 2 would be playing at any one time.
I mean, the other argument for having headphones is, this isn't just like a casual, oh, listen to a track and just kind of move on. You really need to experience, I think, from the beginning to end. And again, it helps underscore the value to this day of the fact that you guys still believe in putting out albums.
The album,
And,
yes.
I mean, this is a
Double
body
album.
of work. This is not separate tracks.
Yeah. It's a double album, by the
2-record
way.
set.
And the only reason we could get 2 records is because there were so many tracks.
Yeah.
Couldn't fit them all on one. So
Well, also
Yeah.
part of the reason that this record is so kind of different is that we didn't have to follow the pop song format or length or anything. It was like almost like radio theater.
you should have heard how long some of these songs were. We edited
Is that right?
some of them down from
12 minutes?
15 minutes to 10 minutes. Like the
Oh.
longest one, Black Horror, is 10 something. I know that.
Well,
It was
you
even
know what?
longer.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I have a lot of thoughts about Black Horror. We're going to talk about that in a second. I mean, I needed to step back for a couple of minutes to check my pulse in a good way, and say, did I just experience that? I mean, that was worth the price of admission alone. And speaking of which, I do want to just call out some of the fans here, and you have quite a few, which is not surprising. But Dennis Turchek, I should say, is doing a shout out from Cleveland, and Prairie Cool. I love the album. By the way, you're getting a lot of accolades for the jacket, and if I don't screw up too badly, I might put in a plug to see if you might take me shopping for clothes later.
Sure, anytime, Dennis. Yeah, Dennis, we call him Used Guys.
Is that right?
Yeah, Used Guys, because he always says, "Hey, what are Used Guys doing?" And he comes to see the Tubes. Big Tubes fan. Hi, Dennis. Mailman, by the way.
Nice.
He delivered my mail, I think, somewhere.
Talk about important work. Thankless job sometimes. Bobby Surratt is saying, wow, killer lineup of musicians, and glad to see that Rick Anderson is on Black Horror. I think Rick is actually on a couple of tracks on this project, right?
No, he only made it on one, unfortunately.
Okay.
I wanted him on more, but bless his heart and God rest his soul. He passed away not too long after he recorded that track.
We're so thankful that, and that's the beauty of music, is that, you continue to carry the torch and share this, and the spirit lives on through music.
Yeah.
You got Vince on there too.
And Vince Welnick, who
it's amazing.
One of my all-time dearest friends and musical collaborators, and
brilliant keyboard player.
We actually found I had an old cassette tape of us playing in the band that I was with in him after the Tubes. It was called the Missing Man Formation, and we were playing a song that was similar to Red Desire. I mean, it was like kind of inspired. Red Desire sort of inspired was by this, and it was a version of Kashmir
Wow.
that we did, a cover of Kashmir, and Vince is in the background or foreground doing this kind of yelping, this kind of what do you call that? Kind of
chanting.
Religious chanting, yelping, screaming stuff, and he was able to
extract just the vocal
it.
from the live. What was it, from the Fillmore?
It was from the Fillmore West in about 90. I don't know what it was. 90, 95, so 94, something like that, when he was still in the Grateful Dead. But anyway, he's on that track.
It's amazing.
You can listen to him yelping and screaming in the background in Red Desire.
I love that. Kathy B is saying Bob Surratt from Chicago. I know Bob Surratt for sure, so I don't know if related to Bob Surratt or just a shout out, but a DJ that quite possibly played a couple of Tubes tracks on the radio. And this is I think a good opportunity for me to just share with everybody that tonight we're celebrating the forthcoming debut solo release from renowned drummer Prairie Prince, and produced or co-produced by Chris Snydern. Did I get that right?
Chris Von Snydern.
Oh man, I told you it's going to take me 20 times. That was my fourth attempt. So I'm just going to refer to him as Chris until I have
CVS.
this.
You can call me CVS.
Yeah, call him CVS.
I love that. That's where my daughter works for them. Of course, she's going to be upset that I publicly said that. So this is an album entitled Colors and Passion. It features 14 tracks. You heard it was a gift that kept on giving for these guys. They thought they were stopping at 12. It's 10 years, 50 musicians at last count, 20 drums. And Prairie takes up where the original record by spoken word legend Ken Nordine left off. And the album releases officially on Friday, March 20th. However, Rock and Roll Channel fans on Talk Shop Live can purchase their copies right here, right now. And as Prairie's way of thanking you, fine fans, he's graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies purchased here on the Rock and Roll Channel on Talk Shop Live. And to order your copies, hit shop on Talk Shop Live or socials such as Facebook or Instagram. Comment shop. We'll DM you a link.
One, right? Oh, wow.
And for Facebook, just look at the body of the description and click the link. And the rest is quick, easy, and pain-free. Unlike the slight arthritic condition Prairie may have developed signing for you fine fans, but I have a good authority. He's well on his way to recovery. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate actually both of these gentlemen and their talents, but then by owning a copy of this wonderful musical body of work. So I said I was going to hit on Black Horror, and wow, man, talk about a striking kickoff of such an ambitious project and refreshing album. To me, one of the takeaways is this could double as a great introduction to a revisitation of like the old classic Friday and Saturday night B horror movie television programming. It just had
Sven Gulli. Our local is Sven Gulli.
Oh my gosh, Sven Gulli. Yeah, I miss Sven Gulli, the original.
Yeah.
Let alone the son of Sven Gulli, who's now Sven Gulli. And great lyrics here. And I love how, again, as we said before, it morphs instrumentally into kind of like this trash metal vibe, and then a great nod to noteworthy rock songs with the black theme. Just really incredibly creative and brilliant. And guys, this amped up my adrenaline while planning thoughts that, as I said, I might need to seek some therapy, but in a good way. And this opening track, I think, is, as I said earlier, is worth the price of admission alone. So I made the decision before I heard the end of this track, but I think it was validated at the end that Prairie, on behalf of the Rock and Roll Channel and the authority vested in me, I hereby designate this track better than a Keith Richards blood transfusion.
You know, you heard the joke at the end by Neil Hamburger, right? I
did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give it away.
Oh, okay. Don't give it away.
No. Feel free. It's your project.
No. It's. I mean,
well, that's Roger's big shining moment on the record.
Let's talk about that. Roger Steen from the Tubes, Rick Anderson from the Tubes. So my idea was to try to get for this track was try to get two of everything. I wanted two guitar players, two bass players, two drummers, two keyboard players. I didn't get two keyboard players. I asked Jerry Harrison and Greg Hawkes both, and they both said, we're not really sure what we can do with this.
Missed
So they're gonna have
opportunity.
to wait for the next missed opportunity. But I did
Is
get Roger and Chris played guitar on it. I
Yeah.
got Adam Ellis, who is now in the role of a bass player for the Tubes, who supported Rick several times before his passing and then
Yeah.
afterwards. But I got both of them on double bass, and then my good friend Trey Sabatelli on second drum kit. And he's been one of my drummers over the last 30 years or something that has been, constantly able to, I could always call on him if I had conflicts in my touring schedule. So he would play if I had a Jefferson Starship gig, he'd play for the Tubes. If I had to
Got
play
it.
with the Tubes, he'd play with Todd Rundgren. So he's covered my bass, my bass for years. And I have to shout out that he's one of my favorite drummers, and we got
Yeah.
to do a drum solo on this track as well. I mean, not only does it have all the scary stuff, then it's got a drum solo and all the tributes to the different favorite rock songs from the 60s and 70s that had the word black in it, Black Sabbath, etc.
We
Like I
recorded
say, yeah,
those together.
brilliant.
The drum solo was two drummers set up facing each other.
Live, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Love that. I absolutely love that. We're here with Prairie Prince and Chris von Snyder, and not to be confused with Chris Snyder or Snyder. So, and by the way, big flaming, flaming groovies fan, and also U-turns. I was surprised to find out that you were in that band as well, Chris.
The U-turns? No one's heard of the U-turns. Are you sure it's
Yeah,
the right U-turns?
from New York, right?
From
Or was it
my
San
friend's
Francisco?
basement. I don't think we played in Syracuse a handful of times, but we were kitty cats.
Okay, somebody had called you guys out. Also, the fact that you did some work with Paul Collins, who I think is a brilliant pop musician and writer.
Who else did? I did.
Prairie plays on Paul Collins' Beat second album.
Yeah. Called
That's
The Kids Are
amazing.
the Same.
I should have
Yeah.
known.
He's everywhere.
Song called On the
Yes.
Highway.
On the
What a great track.
That's me on drums. Thanks,
I
Paul.
love that. Prairie, just to take a moment out, just to I think take some liberties, but with some of the earlier classic Tubes records, what I absolutely loved. I mean, you were like the quarterback of that band, and I love the fact that you always served the song, but the same token, you would come up with drum riffs that unto themselves, I think, were like hooks. I mean, we're just you just knew if you stripped out everything else, you know exactly what the song is when you'd hear some of the riffs that you'd build in there.
Yeah. Well, the Tubes did a lot of rehearsing, and a lot of times it was, back and forth with what's the best groove for this song, or how we're going to get around these different sections, because there was lots of sometimes time signature changes, or just a lot of different grooves. And I have to say that I never got much credit for that.
Mondo Bondage alone is, I think, man, I don't know if you got a songwriting credit for it, but you should have for sure.
Well, I have to confess, I did rip the very beginning of that off of From Rock and Roll by John Bonham.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't going to ask you to come clean on that, but
I did my own version of it. Yeah.
But of course, that's lifted from.
Oh, and that's lifted from Chuck Berry, right?
Yeah, the gift that keeps on, giving, so to speak.
Everybody has a different idea where that came from.
You can't you can't come in.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Great ideas, right, are stolen and embellished, right?
You came up with a lot of Tube stuff, right? You were kind of you would take a chance on a wild idea and push it through.
Yeah, I was on the wild idea end of it. Roger and Rick were probably a little bit more on the conformed side of it. Bill Spooner was always on the wild end, but then Michael Cotton and I were the art directors, and we would come up with theme show ideas. And then we met Kenny Ortega, the choreographer, and he just took off with it. So it was an amazing group of artists, working together at that time.
Curious, the origins of, I think, a lot of the bands you were in was Phoenix. I have to believe you crossed paths with the original version of the Alice Cooper group.
Oh, certainly. They were our favorite teen club band, and they were called the Spiders.
Yeah.
And their drummer, John Spear, ended up becoming the early a version of my first band with Roger called the Red, White, and Blues Band. He ended up being our manager after he left, got replaced by Neil Smith. But yeah, they were the teen club. It was called the VIP. We'd go and watch them. They'd be playing behind a spider web with the first strobe light I ever saw and black lights. And we were just big fans of theirs because they were doing a lot of that, early English invasion stuff, Kinks and the dirty side, not the Beatles so much, but
right.
Kinks and the Stones and the Yardbirds and stuff. So
the gritty garage vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. But then over the years, I've got to play with Alice and his bands and stayed in touch with a lot of those guys over the years. And they're all really, really great. And I see now recently they've come out with a new record.
Yes, we featured that. We've had the original guys on for a number of events, and and what a terrific record. And this is one. It was like there was a missing piece of the legacy. So how great that 50 some odd years later they came back together and delivered a record that really had a sense of urgency. But enough about those guys. We're here for Prairie and Chris. Blue Despair, man, fascinating collage of sound. Again, with the spoken word vibe. This one in particular really brought me back to one Ken Nordine. It was quite an experience, man. And I have to cite again some of the lyrics, I guess you would say. A new year back in school, your baby blue, steel blue, ocean blue, sky blue, something's coming, shattered hope at the end of a rope, not enough dope in the world to smother the fear of sadness and despair. Buy a gun, end it all, say it in one crystal blue persuasion about the air. Does no one care? I mean, there's some pretty amazing, so it's like prose really. And I have to say too, man, great tonal quality, man. I had no idea, that you had those pipes, and it really showcased.
Hold on a second. I have to interject here. Those lyrics that you just spewed out, that was Hugh Cornwell.
Is that right?
I wrote the lyric and he read it, but that was him. And then I come in for the positive end of it, like ban the gun, clean up the air, all the things. So the whole thing is full of blue and despair, but it comes out with a brighter sunlight at the end. Hopefully. I mean, that's the intent.
Yep.
Well, the whole bus thing, that's a reference to the IRA.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is up to interpretation, everyone's own interpretation. But that song, I mean, that song is a song. It's a protest song.
It is a song now.
It is.
That's protest.
I tried to create, with his voice, I would use these resonant EQs and things to really bring up the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Part of the voice.
And we use the Navajo drum as the bass drum.
And
amazing.
So much processing. And then on Hugh's voice, I put a backwards reverb to make it seem even spookier without being, corny.
But you can still catch his English accent, so don't miss it.
Yes. Bone Lust, man. Interesting rhythms, percussive riffs.
Oh, yeah.
Also love how this one weaves in and out, morphs into this great funk vibe. And also, I don't think it's a great giveaway. It's a homework assignment for the fans when they get the album, but a great nod to Bowie, for that matter, Lennon. Terrific track.
Yeah, and that's Chris Von Snyder doing the bone.
Yeah, I had to reverse engineer how to recreate that.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
It was great. Brown Gratitude, brilliant voiceover as well. Beat poetry vibe, kind of old school with, again, a kind of a mix of kind of a new frontier as far as I'm concerned.
Inspired by the Grateful Dead. Yeah. Grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful. That's grateful.
Yeah.
But then some of my funkiest friends played on it. Bobby Vega on bass, incredible bass player. Bobby Strickland on all the saxophones,
very talented,
and all those horn section stuff. The background singers Grace and Mia Jones, Grace Yu from Todd's band,
Right.
saying the brown, what was it? What was the line? Funky brown gratitude. You got a funky brown gratitude.
That's right.
Get brown tonight. Remember, get brown tonight. Yeah,
I never
absolutely.
met those
It's a brown nod to Casey of Sunshine fame, and that put a massive smile on my face.
And we actually recorded that in Bruce McDaniel, who played screaming guitar solo on it, and he's now playing in Todd's band. He had his own little studio set up when we were in Chicago doing that 7-week run with Todd called Clearly Human. It was the pandemic thing where there was not much of a real audience, but everything was simulcast to people's homes. And
I saw it.
The girl
it was the Evanston show.
Huh?
The Evanston show. I remember seeing that.
Oh, you saw it, yeah. So anyway, the girls came into to Bruce's studio and sang their background parts. Bobby came in and played his saxophone parts. Randy Brown, our drum tech, plays bongos. So a lot of that track was done in Chicago.
I love that. Hey, let's share some of the recording, not just talk about it, if you guys are okay with that.
That's great.
All right, from the forthcoming debut solo album from Prairie Prince, with co-production and musical contributions by Chris von Snydern, and I will absolutely get that right by the end of the night.
Snyder.
Practice.
Yeah, I'll tell. Yeah, I'm just going to refer to him again as CVS.
Hey, we all do.
Chris, I've become a big fan overnight, and so with that, here's Flesh Terror. And Brad, if you would please roll the digital.
Flesh. The color of flesh. Flesh. Black. Yellow. Red. White. Rose matter. Flesh. Terror. The outsider. The one who dares to be different. The climate of terror. A child dies unexpectedly. Havoc breaks out. The blame has to be laid on somebody. Screams the flute. Out of order. Out of order.
This is a part where the fans get really upset with me, and they send me irate messages like, Steve, how can you cut that track off? And this is the part where I say, well, if you've been here before, you know how it works. You have to buy the album to hear the rest of it. And trust me, I mean, it doesn't do it justice just to play a portion of this, any of these tracks. I mean, at the end of the day, but I will call out Brant, who just ordered 2 copies of Colors and Passion. You will absolutely appreciate it. And it's a gift that we'll keep on giving. John R., thank you for buying a copy. Also, Joseph, Greg T., Rick J. Ordered a copy of Colors and Passions. Mark G., Bob A., Regis. I'll get to more as well. But this one, I have to say, on the back end of it, it's just so striking. It builds, and it reminded me of taking the Beatles' day in the life to a whole nother galaxy. Just a great ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the tempo goes from really slow.
How
Yeah.
slow? I mean, really slow.
Oh, I don't know, it's 40 beats a minute up to 250.
Yeah.
And it's just on a straight line, I think.
And I had to play along with that in real time. And
I
that's
can't
not
imagine.
easy.
How did you do that?
I don't know. It was incredibly hard. I was exhausted for weeks after that drum track.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll
Yeah,
bet.
but that was Buckethead playing guitar on that. He played acoustic and electric. And then on flute was, again, Bobby Strickland from Todd's band, and a good old friend of mine from the Bay Area. Bobby Strickland, amazing. And Chris Von Schneider on samples, all the samples.
Kept his mask on.
And Buckethead kept his mask on, yeah.
Did he really?
Played in the dark.
Well, I had to make one because he didn't bring his normal one. He stayed with me for a while, and he didn't have his regular mask.
So
he said, if I'm going to be on video or I'm going to be in your studio, I got to have a mask. And so I made him one out of, some old, like a chamois cloth that I dusted my car with. Cut some eye holes in it.
It's small. It's the little things you do for friends. We love Buckethead. I'll tell you what, he's a funny guy too. I love his sense of humor.
Fantastic musician.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah. Yeah. He's out of this world for sure. And speaking of which, we're celebrating the forthcoming debut solo release again from the renowned drummer Prairie Prince, with a lot of assistance from Chris Von Schneider. And the album is entitled Colors and Passions. It features 14 tracks, 10 years, 50 musicians, and 20 drums later. This is unlike an experience that you've ever had. And trust me, it's worth it from top to bottom. The album releases Friday, March 20th. But Rock and Roll Channel fans and Talk Shop Live can purchase their copies right here, right now. And Prairie graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies, both vinyl and CDs. When they're gone, they're gone. Just hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, or on Talk Shop, or I should say on YouTube. You either comment shop on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll DM you a link, or click the link on YouTube, and the rest is quick and easy. And trust me, this is one that you'll keep coming back to for sure. Let's check out another track from this incredible body of work entitled Colors and Passions. Here's just a fascinating one in my book entitled Orange Joy. And Brad, if you would, please roll the digital.
Be sure you get the
This
real
is the
thing.
video.
100% pure.
Orange is the joy I feel when I gaze into your eyes.
Robert ordered a copy. So did Leonard and Eileen Nora. Susan St. James is here, and Bobby Surratt shouting out Prairie WPOD.
Yeah.
What a great oral and video experience. I'm assuming there was some AI involved with the production.
Yeah, the director was Michael Cotton, who's
Yeah.
also
Michael.
done. And Michael Cotton has also done at least 4 or 5 more videos. He did red, and he's doing yellow right now. He did orange, gray. Anyway, he used some AI stuff, but it was pretty early on in the AI world. I think that he started working on it, and he's developed a different sensibility, I think, than a lot of things that I've seen AI style. So I'm all for it. But I have to say that the bass player on that song was Ross Valerie from Journey.
Oh yeah.
And his associate Eric Levy from who plays with Night Ranger, and who was in a great funk band from Chicago called Garage Mahal.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you remember that band? And and Diana Mangano, who sang with me and played with me for years in the Jefferson Starship, the singing backgrounds, as well as Chris von Snyder. And here it was a lot of the backgrounds. And also our good friend, I have to reach out to David James, who was a roommate of mine and is a great musician, guitar player, and advocate of Brazilian style music. And
great vibe.
Yeah. So anyway,
Great vibe.
those are the credits.
Yeah, pretty impressive for sure. Absolutely love that one. And I think almost every color in the spectrum you seem to hit it. Purple Ecstasy, I'd like to say I remember that one, but I don't. It's a fun journey. You had me at the title for sure.
Yeah. Literally the first 3 tracks are Purple, Red, and Bone, and they're all about lost loves or desire for ecstasy of some sort. And, protest.
Great.
They're protest songs.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
if you don't get it, you have to protest.
That's right. You know what? What I love about this project too is just reading the lyrics alone. I think it's a wonderful piece of work. Stands on its own.
Thank you.
It really
Free
does.
association.
A lot of it's free association and very deeply personal, like I said before.
Yeah,
but, a lot of people
Sapphire
can
Pride.
make.
Sapphire Pride's another good one as well. And I love towards the back end the fantastic surf music, rockabilly kind of excursion. Again, boy, that was a wonderful treat.
And that's performed by my friends, the Mermen, who I'm going to go see their record release party this weekend in San Francisco.
The Mermen.
Jennifer Burns and Jim Thomas. Yeah, they're a great surf band, majestic surf music. And a new video is coming out, directed by our Japanese friend, Emi Ito, Japanese director. And we went out to the beach the other day and filmed ourselves playing in the surf with instruments. We didn't get wet. We're just on the beach, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
More to keep looking forward to, let alone the formal release of this record. We're here with Prairie Prince and Chris von Snyder, and we're celebrating again. Hard to believe the debut solo release from Prairie Prince, the brilliant musician, quarterback for several years of Todd Rundgren's band, and as well as of course the Tubes. And we're going to play this on the outro, but man, you had me at the title with Trash White Anger. I think, man, we could sell a lot of t-shirts, guys. I love I think the message and everything is just really powerful. And we have to call this one out, of course, because your bandmate Todd Rundgren makes an appearance on this one.
He not only makes appearance, he wrote the verses. Those are his concept about how to insinuate white supremacy, basically, with colors in a paint box.
Yeah. And I have to say too, when I was done listening to this, first thing I thought of was if Frank Zappa was still here, he would gladly welcome this one into his composition portfolio. I just felt like just brilliant.
Yeah, I was always a big Zappa fan for sure. I think Todd was too, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
we sent Todd. It was just the drums and that trash white.
That's right.
And that was
Yeah.
it. And Todd made all the.
Yeah, he
Basically
played
put that together.
the rhythm, scratchy guitar, the sequencer that pretty much throws throughout, and then delivered the vocal verses.
And then it morphs into White Enlightenment, and get from the dramatic voicing to this exciting musical romp. Again, some really interesting a wordplay here. The White Knight battles white zombies led by the albino Godzilla from deep down under the valley in the shadow of enlightenment. Bang a gong, man. As far as I'm concerned, insert the mic drop there. Brilliant.
Well, so that was Chasm Sultan's collaboration.
That's so great.
I asked him to help me with that song, and he had been playing with Blue Oyster Cult off and on. So that's the zombie, the Godzilla reference there, and that kind of heavy metal ending and stuff. But that song is really all about my sister and the enlightenment that I share with her.
And I hope we can have you back at some point, maybe to further delve on the record, but also some of your other contributions. But you have such a great background, your family. I mean, your journey was destined to be down this path, but we didn't even touch on, I think, a lot of your creativity in terms of art design and everything, but there was no mistaking that you were going to be a musician. We consider the influence, both of your sisters, as well as your mother and father were extraordinary. So I just wanted to get that in, but Yellow Excitement, the project album closer, this is an exclamation point, I think, to such an adventurous musical jungle of a journey. That's a mouthful, let alone trying to remember the brilliant Chris von Snydern and his name. I think I finally have it down. But you know what? I love the great closing joke as well. And there's a number of those throughout this great body of work. Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to give it away because I just think they stand alone. I just love how you kind of, went in that direction for sure. And I just want to remind everybody that we're celebrating this brilliant body of work entitled Colors and Passions, 14 tracks, but really it's a body of work, 10 years, 50 musicians, 20 drums. And it's really inspired by the brilliant Ken Nordine, but Prairie Prince and Chris have taken it to a whole nother level. It releases on Friday, March 20th, and you can purchase your copies right here, right now. And Prairie has graciously agreed to sign a limited number of vinyl and CDs. This you will keep coming back to. It's just a brilliant piece of work. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate his artistry. So, gentlemen, what does 2026 hold for you? Prairie, what can you share with us?
Colors 2.
Nice.
Oh no.
He says, "Oh no."
Yeah, you know what?
Well,
it might shorten your life. I think
it take 10 years this time.
At least we're going to start it in 26.
There
I
we
don't
go.
know when it might end when I'm in the grave, but
Hey, God forbid.
You guys were very well behaved. I love the fact that after 10 years, man, that you're extraordinarily civil. But again, it's clear that there's chemistry between the two of you.
yeah, we work together.
He's teaching me how to think like an artist.
Oh.
What a concept, right?
Instead of a sound man. Don't think like a sound man ever.
No, this guy's got more art in him than he gives himself credit for.
Yeah, well, it's
check out some of his solo records. They're just amazing. How many?
There's a new one. I have 13, and I'm coming out with a new one featuring this guy
playing drums on the tracks.
In the coming weeks.
Well, Chris, we have to have you on.
Love
for that.
Okay.
Let's make that happen for sure. And before we let you guys go, I want to thank all the fans, family, and friends, over 3,000 of them and counting.
Wow.
That's a testament again to the brilliance of Prairie Prince for sure, with the assistance from Chris. And want to say special thanks to our good friends at Flatiron Recordings and Label 51.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
much.
Very
passionate about this project, Prairie. You should know.
Yeah. Well, I hope it goes global and I can get some soundtracks and some fabulous movies or something.
All right. That's our homework assignment. We're on it.
Yeah. All right.
And Ken Gullick, thank you so much for making this happen. Great appreciation for
Ken.
Dean Metzger as well. and our fulfillment partners, Amped and Alliance Entertainment, who help make sure that you get these copies that you ordered, signed by Prairie, to Brian, Sandy, Tina, Joe, Jenny, Levani, Marty, Kate, Sam, Brendan, and behind the scenes doing yeoman's work, Brad Edwards, all from Talk Shop Live. But most importantly, to Prairie Prince for continuing to provide his musical gifts with all of us, with great assistance from Chris Von Snyder. And thank you both. And gentlemen,
I have to give a big shout out to my niece Francesca
Yes.
Raymond Jones, who is my digi girl.
Yes, thank you for doing that. She was definitely helpful for this project
She
that we were
has,
involved with.
I
Thank you.
couldn't have even been here without her. So thank you so much, Francesca.
And
Love
you
you.
covered me. You taught me Chris's last name, and also and Francesca, because she was invaluable for sure. So Prairie, there'll be something extra in your Christmas stocking this year. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Cole is fine.
no, it won't be Cole. I assure you of that. And with that, everyone, pick up a copy of this great project, Colors
Where
and
is it? Hold
Passions,
it up.
Oh,
right on cue.
Look at that.
I just dumped the whole record.
It's
You've already
okay.
seen those
We can
pictures.
replace it. You know, people. But you also did some artwork on the drums, right? That accompany this project.
I have done
haven't even
many.
seen this.
I have done many drum sets, and
Yes.
I have played many drum sets.
Look at that. There we go, Chris. You've earned your keep as well.
That's my impersonation of that's my impersonation. I can't get the glare out.
That's a hell of a good-looking hat, by the way.
That's the impersonation of Robert Mitchum. And the photography on this was by John Vigran. I gotta say,
Beautiful. It's gorgeous shot.
Yeah.
Gorgeous shot. Look
This
at
is
that.
some of the
Oh,
It's like Sergeant Pepper times 10.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all the
Amazing.
different. Yeah.
Like a comic book.
So this comes in the double vinyl, and one album is black, and the other album is white.
I love that.
It could
What-
take
what
you all
incredible-
week to read this thing.
Incredible project, guys. Congratulations. 10 years in the works, but you know what? You should feel both proud of the final result.
No
I
way to
mean, it's
hold it,
brilliant work.
That way I hold it.
That's no way to hold that record. Come on.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Steve.
It's our pleasure, and I hope
Yeah.
we could do this again. Really appreciate your generosity, both in signing for the fans and for your time. So, Prairie and Chris, thanks for being here this evening. And with
Thanks
that,
to all
everyone,
my fans. Thanks to all our fans out there. Thank you so much, and stay positive in this time of war and
Buy the record.
hell.
Get 2 copies. Give one away.
Dance your ass off. That's what you got to say.
exactly the gospel according to Prairie, man. I'm drinking that Kool-Aid for sure, man. We need more of this reinforcement for sure. Stay safe, everyone. Enjoy life. To double down on what Prairie said, rock on, and so long, everybody. Prairie and Chris, thanks again, man. An absolute pleasure, and congratulations again on this great project.
Thank you.
Trash white, sometimes known as angry white, afraid the other colors are pushing him to the boundaries of the canvas when he wants to be, no, deserves to be, at the center. Trash! Trash! Trash white! Act like an ass. Trash! Ain't got no class. Trash white! Ain't got no taste. Trash! You gone to waste. Kelso dumpster diver. Eco shuck and jiver. Clean up, be a survivor. Keep trash white saying louder. Trash white. From a long line of shady whites. Each a little less